It's like data-intensive users, life-critical, human latency sensitive, and machine-to-machine latency sensitive. And during this presentation, actually, I would like to point out, pass through all these four groups and see what their needs and drivers are, and actually why we talk about this edge more and more today. So, data intensive, actually this is the most obvious users now, as we might say. As you might know that 90% of the data is created, that we own now in the world, is created in past 2 years. So it means that we have 10 times more data today than we had 2 years ago. Does it make our life better 10 times? Is our technology better 10 times? It's not. We just have more data, but still we don't use it in a proper way. We don't analyze it in a proper way, and this is something that's going to happen in the future with it. So, first of the identified are HD streaming video content. They say that in 2016, like 72% of the IP traffic was generated by the streaming content. And it's going to grow until 2021 by 82%. So actually, you can see that there is a huge pressure on providers to provide this content to the users in a way that we expected. So here, as you might say, that all these users are starting to, all these companies like Netflix that provide this video streaming content are actually changing their system from the core to local system, because they need to be closer to the users in order to provide this content fairly to them. And even today, they say that statistics says that in the United States, like 35% of the IP streaming content actually is provided from the local sources to the users. So it's not coming from the core. And this number in the future is tended to grow by 2021, is tended to grow more than 50%. Another example is Internet of Things. So we have like smart buildings, smart homes, smart factories, and actually these are also data-intensive users. We did a survey around the 700 companies in the United States, checking how many of them are deploying IoT. Now it's 1/3 of them deployed it, but at the same time, 50% of them said that 25% of their IT capacities, networking capacities, are dedicated to Internet of Things. So, unlike the video streaming content, the HD content that is actually sent from the core to the users, here we are having a large amount of the data created locally that needs to be absorbed by the system. And this also brings the new challenges for the network architecture from edge to the core, actually. So, apart from these users that I mentioned, we have also users like high-performance computing, virtual reality, and also restricted connectivity. And these all are really data-intensive users that actually we need to serve, and we need to be closer to them in order to serve them properly. And this is what the edge is about. Another group of the users that I mentioned, it's like human latency sensitive. We all know that we as a people are trying to have everything instant. It's our impatience actually to get things. So whenever we are browsing the internet, and slow loading pages are not our interest. We are fastly moving to the other ones. I think you know all this lady, it's the Princess Leia from Star Wars, but actually I don't know how many of you know that she's also a writer. Her name is Carrie Fisher, and she had something to do with the edge. She wrote a book called Postcards from the Edge. And there, she had a nice quote, actually, that can be used here. That the problem with instant gratification, that it takes too long. So whatever is instant to us, we still think it can be faster, actually. So, here we can talk about the website optimizations. Google analysis said that even if you have a delay on the page around the 500 milliseconds, that it can result with 20% less clicks on that page. So actually, it's all about the speed of the pages. Amazon did some kind of survey. They had like payment processing in their systems that actually took 7 seconds. And they realized that giving this system, reducing the delay of the payment processing, it will increase their revenue. The total value that they had is $4 billion in increased revenues, because they moved from the central payment processing to the local payment processing. And they reduced the time from 7 seconds, less than 1 second. This is their survey. So actually, you can see that this can reflect in real money, actually. Apart from website optimization for the speed, we have here also other user groups that actually are driving the need for the edge, like augmented reality, smart retail, and natural language processing. The latest one, the natural language processing today, is becoming much more and more used as an interface between the humans and the applications. Today still, the processing is done in the cloud. But with developing of this application, increasing the number of the users for this, we expect actually that it will also be additional driver for the edge. The third group that we might identify is called machine-to-machine latency sensitive. Here, I spoke about the human latency. Machines are even more faster in making decisions and joint communication. So what we actually can do now, we are having like speed. So we know that we increase the speed, we decrease the time. That's the fact. So, but what happens if our speed limits are already high? Because we can make a fiber to the homes everywhere, we can increase the CPU processing of the networking equipment, but we are coming a little bit more and more to the limits of that speed. So, as all you know that this is high school formula from physics, everyone knows that in order to decrease the time, we can increase the speed or decrease the distance. This is also driving the data centers and the landscape today. It's more converging from the core systems to the distributed local systems in the edge. And this is actually what helps us to decrease the time of reaction. In this group, we could say there are two groups of the users that are actually most obvious that need this. It's like automated brokerage or financial transactions, and actually upon the price change, system automatically make a decision whether to buy or sell something. And if you have a slow system that actually gets the data very slowly, it means that you are not reacting on time. And actually, it's loss of the money for these companies. Same thing is the smart grids. You know that we speak a lot in electrical distribution companies about the smart grids where we are automatically balancing the supply and demand, because with electricity, we need to produce correct amount as it's consumed at that right moment, because you can't store electricity anywhere. So all these systems want to reduce that production is exactly as demand is. And actually, these automatic systems need this data on time and accuracy. So actually, this is also a big driver for the edge as well. Apart from this, you can speak about also smart security, like visual recognition of the photos, low latency content distributions, real-time analytics, and also in military for defense force simulations. The other group that we identified as life critical. Here we can speak about the systems that can affect human life directly, safety and life. Okay, so here most obvious group is automated cars, autonomous cars, that actually it's becoming more and more obvious that it's going to happen on our roads today. And actually we are having easy with standard cars when we will have the so-called autopilot. We will sit in the car, but we can take over the commands easily. But there are many transportation companies today and businesses, like they want to have totally driverless vehicles, from trains to cars that will be on our roads. And actually these cars are needing right information in the real time to perform these actions. Otherwise it will be endangered human safety with this. And with this industry will not succeed unless it is supported by our IT infrastructure that will be more closer to these cars, to the edge systems. So, apart from that, we can speak about also digital health, because you know that more and more we have like a cyber medicine, we have a healthcare, actually use personalized healthcare using the human genomes, so actually it's mapped upon every person, and these all are creating massive amount of data that actually needs to be somehow consumed by the system. Again, we speak about the edge. Again, the drones, Amazon already testing the delivery with the drones of some items. So it's easy when you have 5 drones on the sky, but what when you have thousands of them in the sky? Somebody needs to control this. And this is also going to be done through this system actually that are much closer to them. So, to emphasize everything, we as a Vertiv, we are a company that is deeply involved in the big, small, medium data centers. We have products that are actually matching all the needs inside the data centers. And we recognize the needs for the edge, for the small data centers that needs to be deployed closer to the source of data, closer to the users that actually need the data. And all our solutions are more or less scalable. They can fit to all needs, to every customer. And our global presence actually is allowing this to support whole industry for them. So I hope it wasn't boring for you to listen to this. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Και θα παρακαλούσα